Yesterday I talked to you about God's will, about healing. And I told you to find some of the scriptures in the Bible where it talks about what Jesus did when he was on the earth about healing. So I thought we'd go over a couple of those today. Let me set the stage for you. We're going to read in Matthew chapter 8. But the story actually starts back in Matthew chapter 5, where Jesus goes up on the mountain, and we have the Sermon on the Mount, and we have pages and pages of red letters of Jesus speaking. Well, finally, Jesus comes down the mountain. So what happens when he gets down the mountain? He comes down the mountain, and there's a bunch of people following him. And starting in verse 2, "Behold, there came a leper and worshipped him." Oh, now there's something. The leper worshipped him. He didn't just come up and demand something. He worshipped Jesus first, saying, "Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean." And Jesus put forth his hand and touched him. He touched a leper. Back in those days, you didn't touch a leper. You touch a leper, you're likely to get leprosy yourself. It's a contagious disease. But Jesus touched him. And he said, "I will, be thou clean." And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. Now there's Jesus saying with his own mouth, "I will. I will." The leper came and worshiped him. So maybe that's a step we need to take. When we're seeking healing, we need to worship him, because he does want us to be healed. He said so right there. Well, let's skip down a couple of verses to verse 5. Jesus has continued on, and he enters into Capernaum. And a centurion came beseeching him. He wasn't just ordering. Now remember, this is a Roman centurion. He had authority. He could have come to Jesus and said, "I order you to do this." But he didn't. He's beseeching. He's begging. He's asking Jesus. He says, "Lord," calls Jesus Lord. Now, the Roman centurion, he didn't have a covenant with God. He wasn't Jewish. He wasn't an Israeli. He was Roman. And he called Jesus Lord. This centurion who had authority calls Jesus Lord. And he says to him, "My servant lies at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented." And Jesus says to him, "I'll come and heal him." Jesus is offering to this centurion who called him Lord, "I'll come." And the centurion answered and said to him, "Lord," calls him Lord again, "I am not worthy that you should come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, 'Go,' and he goes, and this one, 'Come,' and he comes, and my servant, 'Do this,' and he does it." And when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed him, "Verily I say to you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel." This centurion, who I will remind you, is like the boss of the area, like the governor or something. And he says, no, I'm not worthy. And Jesus said to the centurion, "Go your way, as you have believed, so be it done unto you." And his servant was healed the selfsame hour. Now, there's a couple of things I want to point out about these two things that Jesus did. One, the leper, Jesus reached out and touched him. He laid his hand on him. And he said, "I will, be thou cleansed." And the leper was cleansed. He was healed. So that's the laying out of hands. But with the centurion, he's offering to come, but the centurion says, no, you have authority just like I have authority. I understand authority. All you have to do is say the word and my servant will be healed. And Jesus is like, all right, as you believed, so be it. Jesus spoke the word only, and the centurion's servant was healed. Some people get stuck in a rut thinking, well, healing only comes this way. Like I have to have hands laid on me or I can't be healed. Or somebody has to speak over me or I can't be healed. Or somebody has to sing 3 songs and wave their hands, like when Naaman in the Old Testament went to be healed, he thought somebody'd come out and wave his hands and speak things and blah, blah. But Naaman, he had to go baptize himself in the Jordan River 7 times. See, there's many different ways that God can heal. God is not stuck in a rut. He can heal in so many different ways, more ways than we could even imagine. So don't get stuck in a rut thinking that there's only one way that God can heal you. Yes, people can lay hands on you. Yes, people can speak over you. Somebody can anoint you with oil in the name of the Lord. So many different ways God can heal you. But the point is, He wants to heal you. Don't stay sick another day. Receive the healing that God has for you. All you have to do, say, Lord, I receive what you have for me. The other day, a friend called me for prayer because she wasn't feeling good. Well, I wasn't feeling the greatest either. So I said, lay your hand on your head. I laid my hand on my head. We laid hands on ourselves and prayed for healing. I was praying for her healing and mine both. Well, God, I finished praying, said amen. She says, I feel better already. That is the miracle working power of God, because He is all powerful. So be well. Thank you for watching. I will see you soon.